Hey everybody, this is Scott Smith, and here we are for another Saturday service. It's a nice quiet morning here in Glassell Park. We've got some cool weather and some overcast going on, so I'm super excited for that. Gonna do some hiking today. For today's Saturday service, I'm going to be using the Tarot of the Old Path and just some runes that I got in my little fox spouse. I got this from friend Virginia. And I've drawn those already, so we're not going to spend a lot of time shuffling around things, and I'm going to jump directly into the reading. There are some updates to some offerings I have in September, and I'll include those at the end of the message for you. If you have any additional questions about those, you can always visit starandstonellc.com, where I have advertised everything. So, the week is going to start with the moon moving into Gemini. I'm going to carry Carnelian for that one because I want that mental energy to be really close to my body. I want it to be intimate. I want it to feel it rather than overthink it. The cards that I pulled for this day and for the start of the week, sort of these entry cards, the ones that come knock at the door and go, hello, this is the week ahead. I have the Knight of Swords, and in the rune system, the star. Those are from the Witch's runes. And I find this interesting, this combination of Carnelian, Gemini, Knight of Swords, and the star. So this is taking some of the energies that we previously experienced as far as hope, joy, forward movement, enthusiasm for the new and the new direction, and moving that into the week less ideological and more embodied. So it's just to sort of remind yourself, when you see that knight, we're looking at action, right? But we're seeing swords, so we're seeing mental, right? So this is, don't overthink it. While we can get a lot out of our brainstorm sessions, and we might be kind of activated with a lot of new ideas, to remember to write them out, or to do something physical for your body to help you sort of massage the mental energy into the physical, which could be qigong, massage, a walk in the forest, a lay in the grass, holding your favorite natural sensate object to sort of reconnect you to nature, putting your feet in the dirt, that kind of stuff. Carnelian, Gemini, Knight of Swords, and Star could also feel good as like hot baths, laying in the arms of someone you love, cuddling with your puppy, that kind of stuff. There's just this need, I think, to sort of bring a lot of mental energy into the physical so it's not so heady. The more we embody those thoughts and ideas, the more thoughtful and aware of them we are, because there are less things floating around in our mind, causing a stir, of shadows in the head, and more physical actions, things that we can do. So just look at, how do I translate mind into motion, and do so in a way that is more embodying of myself. The middle of the week, we move into Cancer. We do have the Page of Cauldrons. I have all court cards this week. And we have Nauthiz, or the Need rune. And so I have a couple of things to say about this. Carrying lunar associated stones in the middle of the week can be good, and looking at your dreams or the stuff that's happening beneath the surface of the self. The page has already gone through the 1 and the 10, right? So it's gone through a journey. They have learned something about something. They may not know something about everything, but they know something about something. And so they have that beginner's experience of like, I've accomplished a thing. It may not have turned out the way that I liked it to have turned out. It may not have been the perfect, like I planted, I thought I was planting melons and I got pumpkins, that kind of thing. The page has learned something. This is specific about emotional hopes and dreams. So these are things that we were looking for emotional fulfillment for. So if it comes up in that moon in Cancer time, that there are things that feel like a certain way, I'm not gonna color your emotions morally for you. They are what you feel, and feelings change. So they are what they are, but just sort of observe what comes up there, and look at that as a point of assessment, right? In which you can maybe bring in some of that more tangible, intimate energy that we get from the Gemini, Carnelian energies into this Moonstone Cancer energy, and just say, what could I do next? What's the next level? I can take what I have done here and move on into a new place to do something with it. Page becomes Knights, right? Like this kind of energy moves into a more active phase. Something to consider that. Just look at the midweek as a consideration point. The end of the week, our final court card, we have the Queen of Swords. This is actually one of my favorite cards. In this deck is one of the decks where she is not, in profile, because you can often only see one side of the Queen of Swords. She is Queen Water, Queen. There's an emotionality to her, is what I mean to say, and there's a thoughtfulness to her. When we see the Queen, we see someone who has knowledge about what we can do with others, or how others can be directed, or in what way we can use our information that we have to set something into motion. And this is generally going to include like a court. So this is friends, work, any of those sorts of things, because it's in swords. This could be ideological. This could be in a place where you are sharing your thoughts, ideas, and actions. So if you're with a group of people where this energy is not embraced, right? Like choose your audience, right? Like know who you're talking to. The moon is in Leo at that point, and we have that amber energy that sort of comes through, but it's also about like identity. It's about, like who we are in the world. When we see that Queen of Swords, we have it married with the rune for the Spring Equinox. That's that kind of Taurus energy. So if you want to look to bring life into ideas, find the group that best supports that. It doesn't mean sycophants who are going to yes you. Oh, that's wonderful. Everything is wonderful. Good criticism is great because we understand where we might have holes in our plots, right? So understanding where that's at, find the rich, nourishing group that's actually going to help you generate those ideas into something else. Don't go where the idea is not going to land and sort of like demand that it is so, because that's the Queen of Swords in a very negative aspect sort of thing. So start of the week, peeling off from last week, taking some of that star energy, again appearing in the runes this time, taking thoughts to actions, maybe working with some Carnelian or doing something physical to ground that energy into the body. Midweek, look at an assessment. This is what I've done. This is where I'm at. This is potentially where I could go. Like this is the direction I could go. You see that need rune there? Think of the spindle and the thread. Think of the way in which you can twist fate, in which you can reweave something for yourself and go a different direction with it. Work with Moonstone or work with lunar associated stones to really touch not just feeling when we're talking about Cancer, because that's an easy go-to in Cancer, but actually go into what is causing the feeling, or look at what is pulling you in a certain direction, and maybe work more with like gravity or with the magnetism, like what's pulling you, what's pushing you, and sort of understand that push-pull for yourself would be a good way to look at the Page of Cauldrons with the Nauthiz rune, the need rune. And at the end of the week, remember that if you've refocused yourself and you've sort of examined what you're looking at, then whatever ideas or initiatives that come up at the end of the week, find the right group for that, because it's not for everyone, it's for some, right? So you have to figure out what that sum is for yourself. And I'm not saying preach to the choir, and I'm not saying go to the cacophony of your crows and only hear what you want to hear. It's very dangerous. You're not going to get a rounded picture. You're just going to get an echo chamber, right? But going to where the idea can be enriched by other voices or put into action by other people. So if this is a work thing for you this week, sort of looking at like idea, contemplation, and then execution at the end of the week. But if this is more of a relationship thing, this is sort of like, is this really the right time to talk about this, and is there a better space and time for it? That's that Queen energy, sort of really understanding where's the right moment for this. If anybody can throw a good party, it's the Queen of Swords. May not seem like it, right? But she's going to execute that idea down to the detail. You can work with Carnelian, Moonstone, and amber this week are the ways that I would look at it. Although some things sort of popped out to me that were really fun, like moss agate. I like heart shapes for this week, or just quartz to magnify energy. And as always, I got these from Sue at Zuzu's. These pieces of Euphoria light are just great ways to sort of like vibe up the energy that you might be looking for. So that's my reading for the week for you. Yeah, if you're watching. So I have some things I wanted to talk about that are coming up. We have a class that's starting. These both will be at the UU Church of the Verdugo Hills, where we have the Friendship Hall and rooms for meetings to do our things there. We have a Path of the Moon class, which is coming up on the 14th. This is a year-long class if you wanted to take the whole series, or you can take them one off. And basically, we will look at every moon that's coming up from dark to new to full, and the kind of magic you can do specifically for that moon. And let me tell you, I've done this class for 3 years online with Christopher Pensack of the Temple of Witchcraft, and we got the approval to teach it in person. I'm enjoying that because we can really build the altars and do the material and be together when we do the magics and meditations. And this will empower you as you go away and do your own lunar workings in your groups or with yourselves to really understand the energy of what you're tapping into to manifest what you'd like. It's a great class. Each moon is different. There's goddess archetypes there. There is god force there. There is animals that we can tune into. There's the meaning of the different types of moons, like why does one person call it the wolf moon and someone else call it the, like those things are explored. So there's a lot of rich information in there for you. If you're a spellcaster, if you're doing ritual work, if you're a witch, you're doing magic, if you're just doing Reiki with the moon, this is good for anybody. This is good for everybody who really wants to understand the moon and the magic that's there. The sign up is at starandstonellc.com. There's an event page on Facebook through the Temple of Witchcraft and through the Star and Stone Facebook page, but you can find it all on the starandstonellc.com website. The second event that we have coming up is our next ritual, which is the autumn equinox, which will be the 21st, which is a Saturday. And please register in advance for that, because if we don't see registration, then we don't think that the event is happening. Don't just show up the day of. Even if you're going to show up the day of, drop your name in the registration so we know that you're coming. That's very helpful to us. This is that balance point, equinox. This is equal, right? But we're moving towards that dark phase. We have a really great Samhain ritual going to happen at the UU as well. This autumn equinox ritual will really help us dive and ground and earth into the deeper energies and move into that autumn tide so that we understand the kind of natural forces that we're working with. We always cast a circle. We have a great group. The magic is intense and heartfelt and lovely. So if you can make it, please join us. It's in the afternoon, starandstonellc.com. You can find all the information there on this and other things. I thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Scott Smith. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be, and enjoy your week.